Hey guys, it's Max Konvexity. Hope everyone's having a great evening. Let's take a look at these Defiance option strategy funds, and we'll look at some single stock funds also in the Yield Max universe, just like we usually do. All right, and for tomorrow, the triple QY sold 168 at the 18,270 strike for 70. Call it $75 because it makes the math easier. So 75 less 18,270 is 18,195. Okay, so that's the break even. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Max profit on this trade is 1.2 million. This would take them to a positive 21 cents on the month. Nice job, guys. Dividend estimate of 59 cents. That seems a little on the shy side. It's calculating all the data, so maybe I guess evidently the extrinsic capture has been a little less. Let's see, 800, 400, 500, and 500. 6454. It doesn't look any less than those 4 days. But we had some giant days last month too, some $1 million days. Keeps the average up. Okay, well anyway, we just haven't had a $1 million day yet this month. All right, so 59 cents right now. That's a little low. It's not the end of the world. Well, let's do this one at a time. All right, so there's the profit box. We just pulled back right there on the close. We broke out. That was a hellacious breakout. We kind of chopped today and then pulled back on the close, and now we'll roll the strikes back here. Sometimes what happens after you break out, they come back and they test the area of the breakout. So maybe we pull back to around 18.1 tomorrow, and if we find support there, then maybe by the end of the week we'll be back up again. That would be typical in a bull market type situation, which is what we are in right now. All right, so now let's go on to the next one. JPY, these guys sold 270 puts at the 51.40 level for $14.92. So that makes the break even 51.25. Going for a total of 400,000. This would bring them to a positive 18 cents on the month, earnings per share. Dividend estimate is, this one isn't low like the other one. This one's 52 cents. That's right in line. Now that's why. Wrong multiple there. This one's low too. They're all running low for some reason. Well, hang on a second. This is the next thing I need to have Corey help me figure out how to do, how to make this formula update automatically every night. I know how to do the fraction, I think. Well, I mean, you would have to do a formula for what portion of a month is left. I just manually do it in my head and do the multiple. Right now there's been 4 days and there's 20 days in a month. So the multiple's 5. Whatever we got, we multiply it by 5. Tomorrow, the multiple will be 4. The night after that, the multiple will be 3.5 or something. You just have to divide by 20. But I need to figure out a way to automate that. But then on this other one over here, I need to figure out a way to add one line every time. I want it to add to roll down every time to capture the newest, the latest day. But I wanted to do it automatically. Anyway, all right, I'll figure it out. I already got an idea I'm working on in my head. I do some calculations down here, and I would probably have to move them to a separate sheet or whatever, but I think I know what I could do to fix it. Anyway, don't worry about it, guys. I'll get it fixed. Or don't worry about it, Corey, if you're watching. I got this thing figured out. So, IWMY, let's see what these guys are doing. They sold 661 puts at the 2080 level for $11.61. You just have to subtract. We'll call that 12. 280 less 12 is 2268, right? So just remember, 2268 is the break even. And 2080 being the strike price is I said 2068, right? Yeah, 2068 is the break even, and 2080 is the max profit. If we get max profit, it's a $700,000 profit. Now look at this. That would take these guys to 43 cents positive on the month. Holy cow, these guys are murdering it. I mean, 43 cents. Were they ever even positive last month? They were, yeah, they got positive for a little bit last month. They got up to 19 cents before they got clobbered again. That's as high as they ever got. And the month before that, God, the month before that was junk. Holy cow, down 76, down 79, down 64. My gosh, these guys have been taking an ass whipping. All right, well, anyway, let's see what the divvy looks like. Let's see if I got the calculation right or if I need to update it. Multiples right. And that's right, too. Okay, so on this one, $1.08, and that is actually not shy. It's about the same as the last month's dividend. Of course, Defiance is killing it this month, but the volatility is really collapsing on the other two, or so far in the month it has anyway. All right, well, TRES is just right in the middle of the valley of death. They haven't adjusted the position. It's down money right now. Let's see what the stock price. TRES closed at 19 bucks, 19.11. All right, TLT. All right, let's see here. We'll go update the Valley of Death box. Let's look over on option strat. All my paper trades are killing it in here. All the systems I'm looking at. This one's from last month. This one's from last week. Just get that out of there. Close trade. All right. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 earnings trades from this week. 4 earnings trades. 3 of them are green, and then I have TRES, which I'm just simulating. But computer's saying they're down $6,000 right now. And the Valley of Death is growing, so let's see what. I'm gonna drag the Valley of Death out till. I'll drag it out till the end of the day tomorrow. Let's see, Tuesday at 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. wherever the stock market closes. I always do this at 3 p.m. when I want to do the close time, but this may be an Eastern time. I got a comment the other day from Thomas, and maybe that's what he was referring to, because I always say. But anyway, I always talk in Central Time, but I don't know if this thing's in Central Eastern. But in any event, tomorrow around the end of the day, the Valley of Death goes from 95.13 to 91.60. 95.13 to 91.60. So it stays in the same place. 95.15, yeah. All right, so the Valley of Death really did not move. All right, but we're just right smack dab in the middle of it. Right smack dab in the middle of it. All right, so I'll keep an eye on that. There's not much else we can do. Let's look at the single stocks, then I'll let you guys go. So let's check out a little Tesla. Tesla rolled some of these options down, but it wasn't very many contracts. So I put the main position still up here at 205. They have like starter positions down here. That's why I put it in pink. Pink means it's smaller contracts. Let's check NVIDIA. NVIDIA did something I didn't really understand either. They had a smaller contract. Well, and then they also have a smaller, higher contract. Maybe when it was up here, they sold this contract. And then anyway, they have two smaller positions at 825 and 9. That one may be part of a synthetic. I'm just not sure on that one. I'll have to watch Corey's video and see what she thinks, or Retire on Dividends. I don't think Retire on Dividends covers NVIDIA. He doesn't cover their trades. Anyway, this one's at 905. The main position is here at 850. So, of course, I'll keep an eye on that. We'll check out a little Coney. This is one that didn't change. They're just standing pat on that one. And what's the last one? Misty. I think this one also had something I didn't really fully understand. Well, they did roll out to a 1600. You can tell where it starts that they established these positions yesterday, and they established this one today. But they expire on Friday, so they rolled up to the 1600. Nice job, guys. They got strikes scattered all over the place. This thing's going up. The 1600 will probably be in the money tomorrow. This thing's insane. Let's take a look at futures. It says futures. It has a D right there, which means it's delayed 15 minutes. So it makes me mad. I just paid my bill with these guys, and I have to have two packages. I have one that costs like $6. It gives me all the NASDAQ, and it gives me live stock quotes from the NASDAQ and New York Stock Exchange. So that's good. All that stuff's live. And then I pay $15 for some kind of charting package or something called the Works or something. Then they still want me to pay more for futures quotes. I just don't know how important futures quotes, live futures quotes are. So it's not much more. I probably ought to just pay now that I have this channel. But anyway, tonight the caveat is these are delayed by 10 minutes. But in any event, NASDAQ's down a quarter point. S&P's down 1/15 of a basis point. You can see S&P made a move right at 230. Wait, let's take a look at this. S&P actually made a move up at 130, and then it stalled at 2 in the 2 o'clock half-hour period, and then between 2:30 and 3, it went down and closed almost on the lows of the day, which I don't like. You guys know what I think about closing at extremes. Hopefully this isn't the start of a pullback. I'm not saying it is. I don't think it is. Let me show you one other thing I look at. I learned this from a hedge fund guy or an option trader, but he has a Twitter account. I really like him. You have to use Bollinger Bands, and the key is the 1.6 standard deviation. Now, the 2 is the typical standard deviation, and if you can get a close, whatever time frame you're trading outside that standard deviation, you're supposed to. Generally, you should be able to go in the way of the close, but lots of times it's bull traps. Like you've got a close right here. And you did get a little bit of follow through, but then you got this another close, and that was a bull trap. You didn't get any close underneath the line here, but you got a close underneath these lines, and that was a bear trap. So it doesn't always work, but something to look at. This signal was really good here when you got a close outside the Bollinger Band here. You got some honest to goodness follow through. Here, this was more like the bull trap, though. Doesn't always work, just something to look at. But it would be more bearish if they closed on the lows of the day and outside of the Bollinger Bands. But then also 30 minutes is a pretty short time frame. You also have to check it out on it's good to look at the same metric on the 1 day time frame just to get a longer perspective. And on the 1 day time frame, this system would have had you get long here, or really would have had you get long here. And I mean, there hasn't been a sell signal since here. So you would have, just following this simple trend following system, you would have been long from 4,600, waiting, because you wouldn't take the opposite signal until you got a close on the daily. This is daily. The other one's 30 minutes. Really on this one, you would have got long here. This is a great system. You would have got long at 4,500 and you'd still be long. You haven't got it, this is just a long, short trend following system. Be long from 4,500 and from November 14th. It's a little bit late. It doesn't call the bottom. The bottom was October 30th, 27th, I think, 30th, something like that. Uh, but uh, but it would have got you long here. A lot of people would think, oh, it's already over, it's already oversold or overbought here. But no, the trend was just beginning. Anyway, this is a good trend following system, but in any event, it works in the lower time frames too. So it is a good sign that we haven't got a 30-minute close outside, especially the last bar of the day, closing outside the Bollinger Band. That would be an indication of some short-term weakness ahead. Most likely, either that or a bull trap. You don't know, but it's either one or the other. You're either going to get follow through or you aren't. That's pretty intelligent, isn't it? You're either going to get follow through or you aren't. All right, guys, you have a good night, and I will talk to you in the morning. I'll be back on after the market opens at 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern, or shortly thereafter, and we'll see where we stand in relation to the profit boxes. You guys have a wonderful evening.